Right, this is my print bed. It's like an acrylic sheet. Actually, I'll take it off. It's quite easy to remove because it does have like keyholes in. See, it's got quite a lot of scratches on and such like where it's been damaged, where the head's hit too much or whatever. Partly this did come in this condition when I got it second hand for spares or repairs. This is approximately 5mm thick, this sheet of acrylic. Under here is just this sort of plate here. So it's not a heated bed or anything. Now if you look at my other videos, I was trying to print out some of these cogs and quite a bit of warpage on them. Actually, this is even distorted. That's not too bad. See how the arrow is almost central there. But I think as we go around, it's almost like the arrow pointing up is moving to the right, and that's getting thinner on that side. And the other side. Now there's things like blue painter's tape, which I do have, and pitch sticks. I have glue sticks, hairspray, all this sort of stuff people can put on the beds to help adhere the, in my case I'm printing on PLA. But I'm going to try a trick with a heated bed. Okay, this is not a heated bed, no wires. That's why I'm going to show you the temperature of this bed if I can. Got my Vichy VC99 here. It's saying about 19 degrees in here. I want to try and get the room warmed up a bit actually. I'm just going to put this thermostat on there and press it on with the... you mightn't see that, but it is coming to about 20 degrees. Let me actually hold that, trying to hold that on there. So it's just about ambient temperature, this bed at the moment. And there's the temperature. Okay, Vichy VC99, not too bad a multimeter if you're just a bit of an amateur, but be careful using any multimeters. Anyway, so that's about 20, just about ambient temperature of this room, which I would expect because it's been here. And I'm going to get this, try and get this warmed up warmer than that. Right, I'm about to try and put on this Quart Marks heated bed, trick heated bed. As I say, there's no wires involved here going to the heated bed. And I'm going to have to work pretty quick, so I'm just going to come in here, put it on here. I'm going to stick my Vichy VC99 and hold it down with something I've also got, so to speak, on the bed so we can get an idea of the temperature. Now it's mainly the first layers, that's what they tend to say, that need the heat. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, I am only an amateur, pretty new to this game. But anyway, I'm going to get the bed now and I'll tell you how I've heated it. So here we go. I'll put this about the middle and hold it down with this. So this might be pretty warm itself, this spanner thing. That's Fahrenheit 41. Sorry about the shadows here. Actually I should have pre-warmed the extruder because that's going to take a bit of time. It won't take that long. I want to make sure that's... I'll wait until it starts printing actually. Well, this temperature probably will go quite quick off this bed because it isn't powered in any way. I'll tell you what I've done. I just soaked it in some hotish water. I should have heated up the extruder first. Got that somewhere near temperature because it's going to be losing heat all the time, this bed. So here's pronto face, increasing the temperature. It's only pronto face I've managed to get really working with this printer. Curve, it wouldn't recognise the USB, not properly. In repetitive host, however it's pronounced, it seems to load in a file. I think it raises up the temperature. It goes to start printing, but then it finishes off that printing straight away. It doesn't actually carry out the printing. So I'm not sure if you can see the graph there in front of face. Oops, sorry. Going up steadily. 180, so it should be starting soon. I'll wait until it's started before I try and put this on. So the room temperature is about 21, that's the ambient temperature in here. And I'm going to try, once it starts printing, I'm going to try to move about quite slowly. There we are. So there we go. Get an idea where it's going to be printing and avoid. Try and put this here. Hope I've got auto thing off. So you see it's about 33 there. Approximately, because this is also warm. This was put in the hot water, just like a kitchen sink full of hot water, left to soak 10 minutes or so to get the temperature up. And pronto face, what's it saying, if I can read it from where I am? So you can find it difficult to read that. Two and a quarter hours, approximately. Looking from here, that first layers there do seem a bit more defined than when I was doing it earlier. Let me move this light a little bit. While it's printing out the raft as well and the skirt or whatever, it's going to be losing temperature, the bed. Saying 35 there. I'm hoping that we have a feel. I mean, it's like what we call lukewarm, the bed. It's not as it was before, it was pretty cold before. Let me just move that wire and heat up so I'm getting in the light, etc, etc. Just move that heater wire, don't want that getting caught up. I'll probably speed this up from now on, and we'll see if it looks like it's sticking or not. But that certainly looks improved there. Actually on the sides it seems wider over that side. Try to show you that before you might notice that seems wider than around this edge. But that's, I think, what the term is, a brim. I'm asking for quite a bit of brim on this bed because the bed is not in good condition. Right, I'm just going to turn the camera off and then I'm going to come back in, say 10 minutes or so, and we'll see what's happening. But we're on 33 there now, according by this, remembering that You feel that? I think this spanner thing here is a little bit warmer than the bed actually, because that's metal and might hold the heat more. Anyway, I'm going to pause the camera now and I'll come back in 10 minutes. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, a little bit over 10 minutes actually. And this bed is feeling coolish. 25, the Vichy VC99 is saying. This did come off here, by the way. It fell down underneath and I've had to put it back up there with the vibrations or movement or whatever. It's a bit hard for me to tell. It's a bit early to tell whether it's helped with any warping, but there certainly seems to be a bit of a gap just at the front edge there. Over this left hand side, that seems okay now from this very early stage, and it is an early stage. So I'll just zoom in, and then the ambient temperature, by the way, was about 21 in here. Might be getting to about 22 because I do have a radiator on in this room. I'm trying to be very careful about coming in or out because the door's just to the left of this printer. So trying to move slowly, not create any drafts. Oops, see it's coming off again. But I think, you know, it's getting to the ambient temperature anyway. See, 21 is the ambient temperature, 20 in here. So I don't think there's much point keeping that going on this. Well, that is the Vichy 99 sort of going, because it's just come to ambient temperature and it'll probably stay at that. Finishes, unless I stop it first. Right, I'm going to come back in about, I think I'll give it a good hour actually. We'll see how I feel. Right, it's been over an hour, not quite sure exactly how long. It does seem to be lifting at this front edge actually. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's still lifting at this left hand side there, seems to be a gap there. So, why is it lifting at the left? But on the right it seems okay. As I say, there is a door over here, so I'm thinking about moving this printer more. Well, swapping places with the laptop I'm using. Just a second. So, laptop's over here, and this is what I'm using to sort of power this. Well, instruct it what to do. You might see a bit of a gap there underneath. I want to try and get some better lighting on this printer as well, but that's for the future. I think it is a little bit better by having warmed that bed up in hot water a bit. I wouldn't say it's majorly improved. Let me take the camera down so I can try and show you edge on. Yeah, you might see this sort of shadow just under that left hand edge particularly. front of face. I think that's about 5 minutes left. Don't believe that. I might be reading it wrong. I find it hard to focus actually. My eyesight is not the best. Oh, 41 minutes. I thought it didn't look right when I was reading that. 41 minutes odd. And zoom in, I hope it'll get the focus. Go down a little bit more as well. So that's it, John. Try and move this light about a bit. I'm not sure which is the best position for this light actually. I'm just going to leave it now and come back when it's finished basically. So you probably can see the little bit of a gap there on the left hand side again. So why on the left and not on the right? As I say, there is a door here which I've been coming in and out. Well, I've been trying to move pretty slow when I've been coming in and out. Trying not to disturb it unless somebody can tell me that even the slightest draft, and I do mean slightest draft, and it's going to impact on it. So I'm going to finish off this part of this video and then I'll come back when it's totally finished, I think. Well, it's finishing off now about 3 minutes ago. You can see a bit of a gap there on the left hand side, slight, nowhere near as bad as what was earlier, I don't think. Don't like the boss sort of thing at the top to hold the nut, the hexagon nut. I keep going to say hexadecimal because I'm used to computer terms. It's hexagon shaped nut. Another thing I'm going to try actually is just this piece of cardboard. It's an old Amazon package, would otherwise get shot out, just to try and get a bit of shelter from that side in case any drafts are causing this problem. But I can't see how because I've been very careful coming in here and moving about, going pretty slow. There's my alarm thing just to remind me to come and check this. It's just like a timer thing I have, nothing to do with the printer, just like an oven kitchen timer thing. 31 seconds left, so might as well keep watching it. There we are, finished. So again, going to wait a bit of time. That last string there, that certainly needs like retraction done before finishing. Actually, it's not going through my code because my code raises the Z height just about all the way to the top and then brings the bed forward. My end code I have, so it's not actually using my end code. I'm not sure why. I still haven't 100% got the hang of this pronto face. Show you that. So there's pronto face. You get that flower thing that's for the curtains. It's a nuisance actually. I reckon the temperature was 185 there. Forgot to mention the temperature. That's what it says on pronto face anyway. And it's about 140 now, so sounds about right. So I think that having that warmth on that bed when it started off has helped quite a bit there. The bed is cool now, cool to the touch. Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a few more minutes. I'm going to turn off the camera, give it a few more minutes, then I'll come back and I'll take it off the bed. Okay, let's see about getting it off in a few minutes. With this raft, I assume it's because of the raft, it comes off extremely easily. I reckon I wouldn't possibly even need to scrape it, to be honest with you. Let's have a quick look. So that is a lot better. Seems a little bit of warpage, just as, oh, it's almost like there's a dent there in the bottom edge. Quite stringy, but not that on the bottom is the raft. That's come out pretty well, I think. So it looks like this idea of having a heated bed will be quite helpful. Remembering that this was only warmish when we first started, and then it cooled off quite quickly using that little trick of just putting it in just a kitchen sink of hot water for about 5 or 10 minutes. Not boiling, just like normal hot tap water. So there's the main part of the raft. I don't know how usable this key would be. It certainly seems heavier on this edge here. Try to show you this. I hope this is staying in focus. It's a bit hard to tell on this camera sometimes. Oops. You might notice there, I think that it's going a little bit off. Actually on this sort of bottom edge here. It's not a lot. I reckon that's about 1 millimetre or 2 gone up, so that again is narrower there than on this side. Again, I aren't kidding this. Oh, I'm putting some pressure on this. Suppose if you whack it with a hammer or try to do something like whack it this way along the layers, something sharp like this, it would split. So there we are. Just try and show you that, like what I'm going to call a boss of the gear there in the middle. I think that nut shape isn't 100% symmetrical about the whole gear itself. I think it is elliptical a bit, like it's wider that way than across this way, looking at it. Okay, I cleaned it up. I just wrote on there to remind me, third model HB hotbed. It wasn't really a hotbed, but here's my digital calipers. So let's do it like that, otherwise I'm going to get in the grooves. So that's about 73.5 millimeters there. Turn it round a bit. 72. I think it's getting wider here. 73. I think that's so wide. Let me have a look. I'm looking at a different angle to you, so sorry about this. So that's saying 73. Let's do it where I think it's now, 72. So it's about, am I saying it's 1 millimeter out? I can see that by looking at it. Right, let's try and get the thickness. So that's about 9.9. Sorry about that. Let's have a look. 9.9 millimeters, 10. Get this 10.2. That's a 9.8, 9.7. I think that's a narrow part. Let's do a wider part. 10.4. So according by this, it's not all that far out, but when I'm looking at it, it certainly looks a bit like distorted, shall I say. I think a heated bed would help sort out maybe 90% of the problems, 85, let's say 85% of the problems, just measuring that nut hole there. That's 13 that way, well, for the head of the nut, and that's 12 point odd that way. So it is a little bit distorted. It doesn't sound like a lot when I'm saying, you know, a millimeter, but that's a millimeter over. That's 70 odd millimeters there. Cleaned it up a little bit.